A third of the people in an auditorium said yes, they married the wrong person. We will, in this video, discuss the underlying reasons and develop an understanding of the factors involved. There is a lot of privately held anger around our love lives. A lot of us go around feeling quite enraged, angry privately, about the way that our love lives have gone. Let us see how we can turn this anger into sadness. Taking a purely psychological point of view, we will have made great progress if we can turn this anger into sadness or grief. Contrary to popular belief, angry people are wildly optimistic. In reality, it is hope that is the driving force behind the rage. A person found screaming when stuck in traffic is only doing so because the person is demonstrating his faith in a world where roads are totally and unusually free of traffic jams. It is hope, and their faith is charging their rage. Therefore, if we are to reduce our hope and also our sadness about our love lives, we will also correspondingly reduce the rage. It is very difficult to diminish hope around love because there are a vast number of industries trying to increase expectations of love. All of us will not find the right person to marry, but all of us will most probably be able to find a good enough person. And this, we shall see, is a great success. One of the reasons why we shall not find the right person when we are, in our teenage stage, contemplating love, is that we are very strange. You and I are very strange. It takes us a long time to figure out this strangeness and to realize that we are hard to live with. No one is easy to live with. There is a wall of silence that surrounds us from a deeper acquaintance with what is actually so difficult about us. Our friends don't want to tell us. Why would they bother upsetting us? They are just looking for a pleasant evening out. In fact, our friends, and even a stranger having met us for a quarter of an hour, would know more about us and our quirks and flaws than we might discover over 40-50 years of our lives. This is because our ability to intuitively recognize what is wrong with us is extremely weak. Our parents don't tell us very much. And why would they? They love us and don't want to hurt our feelings. Of course, they know what all is wrong as they have raised us from infancy. Our ex-lovers most certainly know, but as they decided to part ways, they would not bother telling us. The long and short is that this knowledge that is out there is not made known to us. Therefore, we go through life with a very slight idea of what is wrong with us. We are all trying to escape from being with our own unpleasant thoughts and, more importantly, our uncomfortable emotions. In other words, we are forever trying to keep away from uncomfortable self-knowledge. Thanks to technology and other distractions we are guaranteed to have a good life as long as we are not with ourselves. This is the recipe for a disaster. If you don't know yourself, how can you meaningfully relate to another person? Another reason why love is so tricky for us is that it requires that we do something that we absolutely don't want to do. And that is that we say to someone that I need you. I won't be able to survive without you. There is a very strong feeling we have, and that is to be strong, very well defended, and not to give away how vulnerable we are. Whenever there is a danger of being vulnerable and exposed to another person, triggers two kinds of responses in us. The first response is, instead of saying I depend on you, I need you, you become very procedural and say, oh, you are late, or, you haven't done such and such thing. You begin to get strict when actually what you really want to do is ask the question, do you still care about me? As I said earlier, we dare not ask that question. Instead, we get nasty and stiff. The second response is from those A-type, outgoing people who pretend they don't need the person. They become avoidant. When they become vulnerable and when they need someone, they pretend they don't. They shun off the other person, sometimes, saying I am busy right now. You don't reveal the need for another person. This then sets the other person off wondering whether you are to be trusted. And the cycle of low trust begins. We get into these patterns of not daring to say what we really need to say. And that is, to say that although I am a grown-up person still, I need you like a small child would need its parent. This is so humbling, and that is why we dare not say such a thing and are unable to attain the challenge of love. In actual fact, most of us don't know how to love. We think love is an instinct. Well, it's not. It's a skill that you need to learn. Our society refuses to consider it as a skill. We are conditioned to follow our feelings. Well, if we continue to follow our feelings, we are sure to make a big mistake. We all grow up being loved. Our parents give us presents and bring things to us. But the other side of the equation, to love someone, is very different. To love ultimately is to be willing to interpret someone's apparent, not very appealing behavior in order to find more benevolent reasons for such behavior. In other words, to be generous and charitable when interpreting behavior. Most of us are desperate for love. Unless we apply generosity and charity in interpreting behavior, we will never attain this. This is the core of love. We are bad at recognizing that anyone we can love will be a mixture of good and the bad. Children, particularly infants, don't really realize that a parent is one character. They actually split the character into a good parent and a bad parent. In other words, the good mother and the bad mother. And it is not until they are about 4 years old that they realize it is the same person. And they become ambivalent, that is, you can love the same person and hate the same person at the same time, without running away from them. Psychologists believe this is a remarkable achievement when we are not able to divide people into absolutely perfect, brilliant, marvelous, and atrocious, hateful, disappointing. Everyone we love will disappoint us. We start off with idealization and end up often with denigration. Real maturity is to realize that anyone that you love is going to be a mixture of the good and the bad. Therefore, love is not just the admiration of strength, it is also tolerance of weakness and shortcomings. It is recognition of ambivalence. The reason some of us make remarkable mistakes when choosing our love partners is that we have been told that to find a good partner is to follow your instincts. Follow your heart. Don't reason, don't analyze too much. Now, when it comes to love, our early childhood experiences have a bearing on how we tend to go about this. Our childhood experiences will be a combination of kindness, tenderness, and so on. Together with experiences of being let down, humiliated, maybe with a parent who sometimes treated us harshly. In short, our early love experiences included various kinds of suffering. Now, when we are out to find partners, we think we are looking for someone who will make us feel happy. But that is not so. We are really looking for someone who will make us feel familiar. These are two very different things. Familiarity may be bound up with particular kind of suffering. We may meet someone very accomplished, and we recognize that they are wonderful and amazing, but we reject them because they will not be able to make us suffer in the way that we need to suffer in order to feel that love is real. We are not trying to find a person who will make us happy, but someone who will also make us suffer in order for us to feel familiar. We also believe that the more a lover is right for us, the less we will have to explain how we feel, what upsets us, and what we want. Even as a child, we believe that a truly loving parent would guess what is in our minds. This must be a gross mistake. The biggest catastrophe for a lasting relationship is sulking. We sulk because we believe our partner should know instinctively why we are upset. We will not tell them, but we will expect them to read our minds. Another reason for an unhappy relationship is that when someone tries to tell you something about yourself that is a little uncomfortable, you think that they are attacking you. In fact, on the contrary, they are trying to make you into a better person. We, unfortunately, believe that true love is accepting the whole of us. We don't think this has a role in love. The fact is, none of us are perfect, and we should not look for perfection. The demand for perfection will lead to loneliness. We are all incompatible. The role of love is to graciously accommodate each other's incompatibilities. The upshot of all this is, if you get married, you will regret it. If you don't, you will still regret it. Without a shadow of doubt, you will marry the wrong person. You will look for similarities, but no two people are alike. Everyone is unique and different. If you thought you found someone just like you, just wait and see how wrong you are. What is really important is to assess whether you can benevolently accept the different personality traits, behavior, and relationship ingredients.